All right, and a pleasant good morning to you coming from Tony'sPicks.com. This is Ramon Scott, and welcome to Night Moves here for Friday, January 30th. We're going to look at the sports betting card here for the action on Friday night, including a big NBA card. Last night was about the NHL. I guess tonight's about the NBA, as the NHL practically a day off, just one game to look at on the ice. Tonight, and we're going to look at some college basketball as well. So, not a long show here. Certainly not as long as the men's semifinal right now between Sasha Zverev and Carlitos. Here, man, we're on hour number 4 here. We're going to go over 5 hours here. It feels like with this great tennis match tonight. I don't know if sporting events are supposed to take 5 hours long, but this one's going to tonight have been some drama here in Melbourne with this one. War of attrition, so I think is the best way to call it here. Alcaraz fought through some cramp problems. Looked like he was going to retire there for a minute in the third set. Zverev had serve problems, double faults in there, issues with his racket during the match, and here we are now in a fifth set. Real high drama actually here right now in the men's, and awaiting to play here afterwards are Novak Djokovic and Jannik Sinner. Some people want to give Joker a chance here in this one against Sinner tonight. I'm not so sure. Djokovic has had the benefit of having all of his opponents retire. So maybe he's rested, but maybe he's also gotten, not that, Djokovic couldn't easily come through with directing his own path to the semifinals, but it does feel like he did get a little bit of a benefit of some passes here. So you're going up against a guy like Jannik Sinner tonight. It won't be 5 hours. It might not be 2 hours, but we're having a great match here tonight on center court here in Melbourne. So, hey, we had some great results last night as well here on the show. Another big night for us here on Night Moves. So I'll cover some of the results from last night. I want to say hello to everyone arriving in the chat as we'll preview the matches here. But we've only got about a dozen or so of you, so maybe we'll give another minute or so, let some folks show up and take maybe a little bit of victory lap here with some of our games last night in the NBA. We brought home some winners on Night Moves. Not quite the performance we had on Wednesday night, but it was close. We had the Sacramento Kings there getting the points in their game against the Sixers. They were getting 10 or 11 there with us on the show last night. And the Kings fell 113 to 111, but they got the money there. We also had the winner with the Washington Wizards over Milwaukee, 109 to 99, coming through with the Wizards at home. Winner with the Rockets and the Hawks there, or should say winner with the Dallas Mavericks. That's what I want to say there. How about the performance by Dallas Mavericks superstar, if you want to call him Cooper Flag. Look, I was on the plenty of shows saying I got this guy's a generational talent. People kind of disagreed a little bit. I don't think there's any disagreement now, as Cooper Flag became the first 19-year-old to score 45 points in a game, really a record-setting performance and a historic performance against Con Kneppel. I think that's what brought it out of him here. 49 points, 10 rebounds in 38 minutes for the 19-year-old. Cooper flag last night. Dallas, by the way, did get the money. They didn't get the win. The Hornets got the win, 123 to 121, but it was a winner for us here on Night Moves. Also, we had Pistons and Suns game to go under. That was another winner here on the show, 114-96 Suns. Club the Pistons, gave them a loss here. Pistons have been great, but Suns did get that win convincingly there. And we also had a winner with the Minnesota Timberwolves here on the show last night as well. So, hey, we'll take that with the action there last night. So, pretty strong performance. There are several winners on the show. Also in hockey, we came through with a lot of wins as well here. We had Tampa Bay on the puck line yesterday for a winner here on Night Moves. Also, we had the Utah Mammoth. They were able to hang in there and get the money in a 5-4 loss. We took them on the puck line in that one, laid a little bit of chalk, but we had Nashville and the Devils game to go under here on the show. We had the Avalanche and the Canadiens game to go over. Lots of winners here on Night Moves yesterday. The Islanders over the Rangers. Yeah, we had that one as well here on Night Moves last night. Also brought it home. Flames and Wild game to go under. Sharks on the puck line against the Oilers. Leafs and Kraken over there last night, so pretty good night here on the show. Also, some big-time college basketball results last night. We saw Illinois continue to roll their 10th straight win as they beat Washington 75-66. There also, Montana gave Portland State their first loss in the Big Sky, 74-70. Liberty over Middle. 81-75, Liberty 10-0 in Conference USA. The Flames here. We did have the over as a winner here last night on Night Moves. We came up with some winners last night as well. William and Mary and Elon to go under. We had that one as a winner here on the show last night. And also, Furman beat Samford 78-73. Iowa State drubbed Colorado 97-67. Northridge over UC Davis 84-78. But we had some other winners here on the show last night as well, including Memphis over Florida Atlantic yesterday for a show winner here on Night Moves. So, preview a few college basketball games. We also had late night winner there at Cal Irvine. Took them overtime, but they did get the money against Hawaii. All right, now we've got enough, I think, in here to get the show rolling. Like I said, just a short show here today. Good NBA card for sure, but again, just one hockey game, and we'll look at a few on the college board here for tonight. Let's see who's here and ready to join us for the show. Thank you for showing up here. Jerry Jones is in. Got a play here on Minnesota there last night. That's right, with the win there over the Thunder. Pretty strong performance, and Ant Edwards kind of left the court there in the fourth quarter, but he said he took this one personal because of the way the Thunder smashed them last year in the playoffs. So good job there. Timmy Two Shoes, he's checking out the action here on the courts tonight with me. Cal Dog as well, ready to go with our crew. Sports Fan as well, Old Gaffer in there, joining us from the UK. Andrew, yeah, the Ducks. I couldn't win them all. We couldn't win them all with the Ducks, but let's see what else here. LALB had the Heat. All right, and going long into the night here with the tennis action, say the guys in the chat. All right, I'll get to the plays here right now as well. Greg Gibson is in here tonight. All right. And Mr. Wesker's been on these Timberwolves the whole time. He loves them. And that was a big game for the Wolves last night. Can't believe they were getting so many points. We were all over that one. All right. Let's get ready to go to the action here tonight. We'll go to the NBA. Why not? And take a look at this card. Now, there's one little change in there with the game, the Bulls and the Heat game being played last night. So that one's been omitted from the schedule. Leaves us with a 9-game card here on Friday night. We're going to get into it here right now. Get your plays ready. If you want to post them in the chat, I'll post your plays and comments on the screen as we go along here on Night Moves. All right, let's get rolling here with the show. Started off with we got a little bit of a time change here on a couple of these games. So this one actually here is, I believe, first off in time order here now. This one's been moved to, or I guess the Toronto game was actually moved back in time. So the first one on the board here is the Lakers taking on the Wizards. The Lakers are favored here by 9. Total 229.5, maybe 230 here right now. Maybe we'll bump it up a little bit here with the Lakers taking on the Wizards here on the road on Friday night. The Wizards are winners of 2 straight right now, and hey, that includes a victory there over Milwaukee there last night. 109-99 as they were able to get that win as a 2-point dog. We had the Wizards here, of course, on Night Moves. They've been covering numbers, no doubt about it. Even when they were dropping games, they were getting the numbers here of late. Right now, the Wizards come in on a pretty good little roll here with the spread. Right now, they've covered 3 straight games, including a win over Portland. They also covered against Charlotte on the road when they were getting 11 points there. Charlotte's been good, but they haven't been that good, but they've been good. For the Lakers here, coming in off of a loss, the loss to the Cavaliers, one that many people have talked about here right now, given the situation with LeBron and what his future holds after this season. And I guess you can still talk about his relationship with ownership now here and how it's kind of, maybe it's not all it's meant to be here. And it might end up being a failure in the end for the Lakers, since they're probably not going to get close to sniffing a title with LeBron here. And, will he have to move on? Could he end up in Cleveland there after that game? They lost 129-99, not to belabor the point. For the Lakers here, they do come in 16-11 against the spread as a favorite, but they don't look like the team necessarily that's going to be able to cover a big number, a double-digit number on the road right now, no matter who they're playing, especially a team like Washington that has been able to get some covers here. 5-1 against the spread in their last 6 games overall, despite the fact that Washington is just 2-9 straight up in their last 11. Lakers have won the last 6 meetings between the two teams, and 6 of the last 8 meetings between these two teams have gone over here, but we'll see if this one can get over. Lakers have gone under in 5 of their last 6 games. Washington's gone under in 4 of their last 5 coming in here right now. So also Washington under in 7 of their last 10 games overall. These two teams have not yet met this season. Like I said, Lakers do kind of own the series last year here in Washington. Nearly, in fact, exactly 1 year to the date, I believe here was 134-96. The Lakers got the win as an 8.5-point favorite on the road. The total on that night was 223.5. It went well over as the Lakers smashed the Wizards in that game. We can take your comments here on this one with the Lakers and the Wizards. Austin Reeves questionable. You got Luka questionable as well. So we'll see. Maybe looks okay here for Luka, despite the scare there that he had falling off the court, if you want to call it that, at Cleveland. Raised some questions about, man, do we really have a court like this in Cleveland where just a few feet from the boundary, someone could fall off, drop down 6 inches there? For the Wizards, Vukcevic is questionable. Trey Johnson questionable. Marvin Bagley questionable coming into this one. But, Lakers possibly with or without 2 of their 3 star players in this game, with Doncic and Reeves with the questionable status here. So might be tough enough just for the Lakers to get a win here right now, despite the fact the Wizards are dismal here, 12-34. Lakers have played an easy schedule to this point. I think that's one of the criticisms right now. Let me just go to the chat here. We only got 9 games. I'm talking like it's an NFL game where I'm spending so long here on this game. Let's see what you got in the chat here. And thank you for joining me. Andre says Lakers on the money line. LALB is going to have some parlays in there with the Lakers. And let's see here. Mr. Weskers, it does feel like a lot, he says, right now in a matchup like this. Greg, the Gibson ratings here, 120 to 109. Says Lakers are due for a strong game. Yeah, maybe, but again, here they are on the road. Here, yeah, they're somewhat rested, but the Lakers, remember, this is a time of year that every year the Lakers are forced to go on an extended road trip because it didn't happen last year. I think it was last year when the Grammys were moved to Las Vegas for 1 year, but they're back in Tinseltown now. And so the Lakers have to go on an extended road trip at this time of year because the Grammys aren't just something you get the court ready or get the ice ready on one night's notice. They have an elaborate stage system and rehearsals as well. So the Lakers have to go on a what they call a Grammy road trip. I know this isn't news to a lot of people, but this is a 6th straight road game here for the Lakers. The Grammys are this Sunday night, by the way, and we did see. The big news that the Biebs is going to be performing live. So we want to see the Biebs here at the Grammys. All right. Let's see what you got, though, in this one, man, and see what you want to take here. But I think I got to try the Wizards in this one. And Andre says they're going to have to fix that court. Greg says the Wizards are tired after last night's game. Cal Dog on the Lakers here. And Mr. Westers, I think he just called them biscuits. All right. Mr. Westers is with me here. We're going to take the Wizards plus all these points for sure. And Greg says they do not play any defense at all. That's okay. The Lakers aren't too swift either with their Olay defense. So if they have Luka out of the lineup, their defense might actually be a little bit better. Just kidding, Luka. Lakers money line in the parlay there for LALB. Greg says no pressure. The Lakers will smack them down. And Jimmy Two Shoes there talking about that Cavs game. Lakers not to be trusted, says Sports Fan. Greg says the Bucks are terrible. Okay, maybe LaRabia here has a big game. Hello to Gaming Gang in the chat, liking the under here. Wizards could, I know, maybe they will, but how many times have we said this, right? For whatever reason, the Wizards just end up in Wizard land because that's just been the way it's been for, decades here since they've been the Wizards, right? I mean, we haven't had too many great years. We need to go back to the Bullets. Can't we do that now? Can't we go back to the Bullets now in today's political environment? All right. Lakers on a tease, says Cal Dog. I got to take the Wizards here in this one, plus those points right now, 9 points. I understand we're on the back-to-back here for the Wizards, but they are at home here, and they're in a little bit of a good run covering the spread. 5 of 6. I don't mind that at all. Lakers on the road here. Look, they've had a nice road trip. Wins over Denver, Dallas, and Chicago. And I'm sure they can win the game, but all they need to do is win. They're not getting the style points, seems like right now. So, all right, let's move on here to our next one on Friday night. And like I said, this one is moved to 7:40 Eastern, 4:40 Pacific time, with the Raptors on the road taking on the Orlando Magic. Magic favored by 1.5 here. Total 221. The Toronto Raptors were on a winning streak, but they lost last time out to end that streak to the New York Knicks. 119 to 92 at home. Toronto was rolling on the road, of all things, taking down some clubs here: Golden State, Sacramento, Portland, and OKC. But then came home and lost to the Knicks. Let's send them back out on the road real quick here, back down to Orlando. Kind of an inconvenient schedule here. The old Tony T special. They come back for one game after a long road trip, and then now they got to go back down to Florida here. So, hey, who doesn't want to go back down to Florida, though, right now? For Orlando, they've been on a losing streak before they won last game against Miami, 133 to 124 as a 3.5-point dog. They were losing to Memphis, Charlotte, lost to Cleveland twice. They weren't playing that well until they were able to get the win over Miami to end a losing streak. For Toronto here, they've won and covered 4 of their last 5. They've also covered 4 of the last 5 meetings against the Magic. For Orlando here, like I said, that was a game that ended a losing streak, but they're still 12-6 straight up at home in their last 18. 6 of the last 7 meetings between these two teams have gone under. Toronto's gone under in 16 of 25 road games this season, and they've gone under in 9 of their last 15 overall. See what you got here with these two, and they've already met here back in December. Toronto got the win 107 to 106 at home as a 1.5-point dog in that one. Like I said, Toronto's they've been getting the wins here. They've won 5 straight. I said they're 4-1 ATS. They're actually 5-0 straight up over the last season and a half. These two teams have beat 4 times a year, but it's been Toronto that has gotten the money. They've been winning and covering pretty much every time here. And last year when these two teams met in Orlando, it was 114-113 Magic as a 6.5-point favorite in that one. Toronto got the win on the road as a dog, actually. They were getting 6 points. Okay, see what you got here in this one with Toronto taking on Orlando here tonight in Florida. Like I said, it's all cold up there. Why not head back down to Florida? Let's see what you got in the chat here from the chat pros. Gal Dog is going to take the Raptors here. Mr. Wesker says, I really wants to take the Magic. I do too. I might want to be on the Magic here. Why wouldn't I? Look, Toronto's been great. Orlando hasn't, but maybe home court here might be enough. Andre Magic on the money line, says Terrell Suggs back in the lineup. That's certainly got to help here right now. Franz Wagner is out for Orlando right now. That's the only short-term really injury in this game. Other than that, it's been kind of clear sailing here on the injury report. Raptors first half for Timmy Two Shoes of Gibson line here, 112-109. Andre likes Banchero over in his points, Black over in his threes, and Bain to go over in his threes. Gaming Gang says take Toronto. Sports fan Bain over 18.5 points. Mr. Wesker says he just put a bunch of money on the Magic on the money line here to get it done against Toronto. And not a ton, just a unit. Let's go with a ton. LALB likes Banchero on his prop there. Greg Gibson says Toronto coming off the Knicks loss might be enough to motivate them a little bit after they were on a winning streak. Look, it's been a great year for Toronto. I mean, there's no question. This team 29-20 coming in, but you still have Orlando, 24-22. They're certainly good enough at home. They're 13-8 overall at home. Here, like I said, Toronto's owned this series, but okay, Andre, I don't think anybody in Florida is going to be anybody going to Florida is going to be worried about how warm or cold it is down there. They'll take it. All right, I'm taking Orlando actually in this game. I'm going to take the Magic to beat the Raptors here. Been a great run for the Raptors, no doubt about it. But let me take Orlando here to get this win tonight against Toronto here right now. All right. Yeah, the Trailblazers on the road, taking on the Knicks. In this one, the Knicks are hot here, man. 4 in a row right now. Knicks coming in with wins over Brooklyn, Philly, Sacramento, and that win over Toronto last time out. They were a dog in that game, but they were favored against those subpar teams there right now. But they still beat them up here as part of this win streak. So Knicks are hot coming in. Portland, meanwhile, 3-game losing streak here to Toronto, Boston, and Washington. Third straight road game here for the Trailblazers, but they do come in here with a 19-11 record as an underdog this season with the Knicks 17-8 against the spread at home. This is where they've been, pretty tough here. Knicks have had a few guys in and out of the lineup here right now that have been kind of a question mark yet. Hart here, questionable for this one. Mitch Robb, questionable. Miles McBride, questionable as well. But for the Portland Trailblazers, Denny Avdija, he is still questionable here right now. He's been in and out of the lineup here a little bit. Robert Williams is questionable here. Reith is out of this game. So a little bit of a setback here for Portland. It feels like in their lineup as well. But getting only 7.5 here. For Portland, they're a big-time under here this season, especially as a road dog. They're 10-20 to the under as an underdog, 10-14 to the under on the road. But both these teams have been big-time unders over the last several games. Portland's gone under in 4 of their last 5. The Knicks have gone under in 6 straight games, and 4 of the last 5 meetings between these two teams have gone under. They did play their other meetings so far this season a couple weeks ago. The Knicks won it at Portland 123-114. That one did go over there in that one, but that was the first one. Before that, they were going under when this series has been contested. So we'll see what you have here in this one with Portland taking on the Knicks. Portland has lost 6 straight meetings to the Knicks overall. They're also just 5-10 ATS in the last 15. That's 7+ year sample size. Knicks come in having won 4 of their last 5, but the Blazers have been solid against the number. 10-4 ATS in their last 14 overall coming in. Usually, getting the points has been good for Portland. They've done a nice job. They're having a pretty good run of it overall as well. Just a couple games under 500. They are on a 3-game losing streak here right now. Let's see what you got here in the chat between Portland and the Knicks here on Friday night at Madison Square Garden. Knicks have been Portland's been a nice cover, but as long as the Knicks, they do have some injuries here, obviously. Let's see what you got here in the chat. All right. Knicks again, says Cal Dog. Going to keep rolling with the Knicks. Here's the LALB on the Knicks. Timmy Chushu says the Knicks are going to blast these guys in 7. Looks short to him, I believe, is what he's saying. And Andre says Knicks money line, but Blazers cover. Avdija over in his points. Hopefully he gets in there. For some, it may be a deal breaker a little bit, waiting for the injury report on Denny in this game, I would think. The Gibson ratings here, 117-108 for the Knicks. Mr. Wesker's kind of leaning towards the Blazers here. Gaming Gang liking the under here in this one. And Mr. Wesker says, the Knicks have covered a couple in a row, but maybe it took till late in the game for the Knicks to put away their opponent there a little bit, I think he's saying. And the Knicks, they do they get complacent? And this has been an easy run, this cover mark. Look, if you're covering the spread, you're doing the job. We know that. But Brooklyn, Philadelphia, and Sacramento, not exactly a murderer's row right now of teams. LALV liking the under. Andrew K's here. He said the Knicks have won 4 in a row since that team meeting. And Timmy says Portland can't handle MVP Kolek. All right. And Yeah, is Cat really on the trade block here as we go? I mean, you got a Knicks team doing, they're doing just fine here, right? With Cat, I mean, I don't think you're going to be looking to break things up, but who knows what's going to happen with this trade deadline with some of these big names. I almost feel like it's all talk and no action in the NBA. We'll see. I might predict that the trade deadline might be a bust. Okay, here we go. Think that's it for you guys in the chat in this one. I'm going to go under here in this one with the Blazers and the Knicks. All right, the Sacramento Kings are on the road taking on the Boston Celtics here. Sacramento just 12-37 right now. They probably have hit rock bottom here. If they couldn't go any lower, they are right now. And right now, the Celtics 12-point favorite here in this one, 221.5. Look, bad mouthing the Kings. I mean, we were on them there yesterday in the loss to Philadelphia. They got the money at least in that one. They do pop up and get the money here occasionally, but again, the Kings are on a long losing streak right now. They've lost 7 straight coming in, 2-5 against the spread in those 7 games, but they covered not only against Philadelphia, they covered against Cleveland on the road. This is the 5th straight road game for the Kings, and they're on the back-to-back here against the Celts coming in. For the Celtics here, come in right now off of that loss to Atlanta. We were on Atlanta in that game. Celtics they failed to cover here in 4 straight games, just going 2-2 in those games. They beat Brooklyn, didn't cover. They beat Portland, didn't cover. Lost to the Bulls, lost to the Hawks here. But Sacramento still 17-28 against the spread as a dog, 9-15 against the spread on the road. Boston isn't any great shakes covering the numbers here. They failed to cover in 4 of their last 5, but Sacramento's 2-7 against the spread last 9 meetings between these two teams. 4 of the last 5 meetings between the two teams have gone under. They did meet in their other meeting already this season on New Year's Day, and it was 120-106. Boston got the win on the road as a 10-point favorite, so they covered at Sacramento already this season. Sacramento here has gone over in 4 of their last 6 games, but Boston's gone under in 5 of their last 6. Boston's 13-20 to the under as a favorite, and Sacramento's 20-25 to the under as an underdog. So let's see what you have maybe here in this one with the Kings taking on the Celtics here tonight. Friday night action. Let's go to the chat. And see what we got here. All right. Celtics usually will beat their next opponent after a loss, says Mr. Weskers, but 11 is a lot of points, he says. Cal Dog is on the over here. The Gibson rating says Boston will take these guys out and win by 13. DeMar DeRozan here for Andre. Little prop action on his points. Jimmy Two Shoes says Hauser for 4 threes. And LALV is on the under here in this one with the Kings and the Celtics. All right. Take a look at the injury report here for these two. You got Jaylen Brown is doubtful here. That that's certainly something of significance. I don't expect him to play, and likely not to play here. But for Sacramento, Westbrook is questionable, and Queta is questionable. No, he's probable here for Boston, but doesn't look like Brown's going to be in there right now. So just a matter of if the Celtics have the motivation, I guess. Some of these games are tough enough to win, but Kings are on the back-to-back here in this one, so that's something you got to contend with, I guess. All right. Timmy's on the Celtics here in this one. Gaming Guru likes the Kings. And I think that's going to do it for the chat in this one. I'm going to take the under here again. I got another under here with the Kings and the Celtics here on Friday night. Right. Maybe a little teaser in there for Cal Dog. Let's go next up. Memphis Grizzlies, New Orleans Pelicans. NBA action here for Friday night in New Orleans with Memphis coming in here 18 and 27. Losers of four straight right now for the Grizzlies. Back to back to back to back losses here. Atlanta, New Orleans, Houston, and Charlotte last time out. They did get a cover in there against Houston as an 11-point dog on the road. So they covered on the road at least. Memphis, so coming in here just 9 and 18 against the spread as an underdog. Meanwhile, New Orleans a favorite for just the fifth time this season. So far, when New Orleans has been a favorite in the previous four times, they covered each time. So I like that. For New Orleans here, they have gone under in 3 of those 4 games. Memphis is 7 and 14 to the under on the road. New Orleans is 15 and 11 to the over at home, but again, maybe just maybe this is the one time where the Pelicans defense kind of shows up or shows out here. 234, a pretty high number in this series. They did meet back here just a week ago. It was 133 to 127. New Orleans got the win in Memphis as a 4.5-point dog. Also back in November, Grizzlies won at New Orleans 133 to 128 as a 3.5-point favorite. So let's see what you have here maybe in this one with the Grizzlies and the Pelicans here on Friday night in New Orleans. Pelicans here have lost 15 of their last 19 games overall, but they do come in here with winning 2 out of their last 3 games. They did lose last time out to OKC, but they got the money at plus 14.5, and before that they beat Memphis, as we said, and they beat San Antonio on the road. So New Orleans, a little bit of life here. We did see I think Fears got fined. Remember the fight that Jeremiah Fears had the other day again with Lou Dort in that game. They both, I think, got $25,000 fines for the fisticuffs in that game. But New Orleans has covered 4 of their last 5 games overall. Memphis is 7-3 in the last 10 meetings ATS against New Orleans, but they've lost 5 of their last 6. They're 4-10 against the spread in their last 14 overall. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over. Obviously, this season it's been all overs for these two teams right now, although New Orleans has gone under in 4 of their last 5 games coming into this one. So, look, New Orleans has all the momentum in the world to me here, and I've got to take them in this matchup with Memphis to get it done. You know, Memphis has the better record so far this season, but New Orleans, a little bit of life here of late, and I think they can take them here at home on Friday night with Memphis definitely stumbling here. And, you know, we got 2 bad teams here, no doubt about it. For the Pelicans, they're really relatively clean on the injury report. For Memphis here, Aldama is out of this game, and Ja, of course, has been out for a week or 2 now with I don't know if he has quite a timetable yet. Let's see what you got in the chat here in this one. The Grizzlies taking on the Pelicans tonight. All right, and we've got here Andrew K. loves to pick a winner. All right, Andre here, Pelicans on the money line. Cal Dog says Pelicans with a new life here of late. Andre says Grizzlies are no good, is the way he puts it. Greg says he's got the Pelicans here winning this one by 3, and right on the total there pretty much. And also here, Pelican, hey, Nexus is in the chat taking the Pelicans. LALB says, give me the Pelicans. Timmy might go on the under here. Greg says Pelicans and over. LALV says the Pelicanos on a consensus play here. Oh, man, if I'd have known that, I might have played the total. You guys are all over New Orleans, but I'm with you. I'm with you in this one. Let's take New Orleans to keep it going here tonight. And let's see here. Greg says we'll get favorites going to cover here on Friday night. Also, Gaming Gangs on the under. And Pelican says with Herb Jones in the lineup, he says that they play a little bit better. And let's see, Sadiq Bey over 16.5 points, says Sports Fan. All right, I'm gonna take the Pelicans here. Roll with the consensus from the chat pros. All right, if you got a Vegas rotation, skip the next game between the Bulls and the Heat. That was played on Wednesday night. Let's go to the next one, though, here with the Cavs on the road here, taking on the Phoenix Suns. Wow, this is a good game here. Cleveland comes in here. They're very hot. They're making up for lost time and lost ground. This is the Cleveland Cavaliers that we waited for this season. Beat the Lakers, of course, beat the pants off the Lakers last game. They're on a winning streak right now, but the Suns are playing great too. They just beat Detroit last night here at home, 114-96 to keep it going. I mean, look, I respect Detroit a lot, and we've talked about that here, even though they're not necessarily a great cover. They've had a great season, but Phoenix is playing so well. How are they getting points at home in that game last night? But it is a back-to-back here, obviously, for Phoenix here. Cleveland's had the day off since beating the Lakers. Cleveland's won 5 straight, covering 4 of their last 5. They're also 6-3 against the spread. Their last 9 meetings against Phoenix. Phoenix has won 5 of 7 here with wins over Brooklyn and Detroit. Right now, they had some struggles in there, losing to Miami and Atlanta, but still have covered 14 of their last 20 games overall. Phoenix has gone under in 5 straight games at home. They're 6-16 to the under overall. Cleveland 17-21 to the under as a favorite. Phoenix pretty hot, no doubt. And even with the back-to-back, it seems like they are such a solid cover. And again, Cleveland as a favorite. 13-25 against the spread this season. This despite their 29-20 record. They're actually 24-14 straight up as a favorite, but 13-25 against the spread as a favorite. So usually they're just laying too many points. You could say here this isn't a big spread, but again, Phoenix is playing very good. No other way to put it here this season right now. And they cover. Here they, despite an 11-15 record, straight up as an underdog, they're 16-10. ATS is an underdog, so I don't know. See how you can't grab the Suns here plus a few points. Yeah, on the back-to-back, and yes, some concerns here in this game still because Booker is still going to be out here right now. Despite we're more worried about. Booker's social life and his social media and the ladies, if you know what I mean. Real bummer here for Cleveland with Evan Mobley, my guy, out of the lineup right now. That's another factor, I think, here. I mean, you're missing Mobley right now with a calf injury that's definitely going to sideline him for a little while. And Darius Garland's also been out here for over 2 weeks. Now, so I think it sets up pretty good for Phoenix here. Jalen Green questionable for the Suns, but I got to take the Suns here in this one. See what you guys have in the chat here. Missing Booker's a big deal, but they were missing him yesterday. Here we go. With this one, I think Cal Dog's on the over here. Here's Gaming Gang. Cavs minus the points. Suns are going to be tired, says Gaming Gang, after yesterday's game. And Timmy Two Shoes got some prop action in there. And let's see. Greg says Cleveland will be well rested, able to get the game here, maybe cover and go over. And I don't expect Booker to be ready quite just yet. Not at all, actually, I don't think. Andre says he's got Spider in there for 30. All right. Suns with the points for Timmy Two Shoes. Also here, LALB on the under. Cavs first half for Cal Dog. Jimmy Choo likes Brooks under in his points. Greg's got it as a Suns letdown spot following their big win over Detroit last night. LALB on the Cavs here. And Mr. Wesker says, he's not sold on the cat. Look, I think the one thing, right, Mr. Wesker is feeling like I am here. Look, the Cavs have been very good this season. I don't think anybody's doubting what they've done, but we talk all the time, right? Who's overrated, who's underrated, and when you have a win-loss record that the Cavs do, and they're still, like I said, I think it speaks volumes. You're 24-14 as a favorite straight up, and only 13-25. So they just making you lay too many points, and that just hurts your bottom line. The Cavs aren't a team to back. They just don't cover spreads. All right, Gaming Gang says Brooks can have another big game. And Mr. Westers likes that Suns record at home. This team has been the Phoenix Suns are the most, one of the teams for sure that have been one of the biggest surprises, undoubtedly here this season. I mean, like I said, they're just out of they're not up there with those top teams in the West, but they're right there. They're in the middle. They're going. Come on, this team can make the playoffs from here as long as they don't, flub it up. But all right, I'll take the Suns here in this one. All right, the Clippers are on the road here, taking on the Nuggets. We know the Clippers have been dynamite of late, no doubt, and doing a good job here. But again, Denver, the stigma of Nikola Jokic out just doesn't seem to register with bookmakers, with bettors here. The Nuggets continue to do a fine job without him in the lineup. They just beat Brooklyn. Now, that's not saying much, but they did beat Brooklyn last night, 107-103. They didn't get the money, but they did get the money against Washington as a favorite. They covered against Milwaukee. They covered against Detroit, even though they lost that game. Denver does a good job covering. Clippers, though, are on a roll here once again. They've won and covered here against the Lakers, Brooklyn, and Utah in 3 straight. Clippers are covering some numbers here. They've gone 9-1 straight up in their last 10, 8-2 against the spread in their last 10 games. They've dropped 4 of the last 5 games to the Nuggets and gone 0-4-1 ATS against them. But maybe that was a Nuggets team that probably was a little bit more at full strength or more strength anyway. Denver's failed to cover in 4 of their last 5 games at home. They've won 7 of their last 10 overall. Denver's gone under in 4 of their last 6. They're 5-10 to the under as an underdog, and the Clippers are 10-14 to the under as a favorite. Did get kind of knocked around there on a couple of totals last night when they're right around this number, and they both went over by a point. And here we're again with the 210 that it probably should be an under game, but the bookmakers are pretty wise to this right now, especially with what we've seen from the Clippers here. But Denver as an underdog is a pretty big time under right now. So let's see what you have maybe in this one with the Clippers taking on the Nuggets here tonight. And I think this was on a little bit of a time change here. This one is at 9:10 Eastern, 6:10 Pacific. So it's been moved up on the schedule by 1 hour here. So let's see what you got, though, in this one. These two teams did meet back in November. Nuggets won and covered 130-116 at the Intuit Dome. I'll go to the chat here maybe for this one first. All right, and we've got Greg, the Gibson ratings here, 110-100. Clippers play great in Denver, he says. Okay, gotcha there. Over, that's too low, says Gaming Gang. LALB says that maybe someone's hurt and maybe we're concerned about the injury situation here. Well, Kawhi, uh, I think Kawhi could end up playing in this game right now. It's still questionable. They're trying to get him in here. Uh, for the Nuggets, Christian Brown still questionable here. Aaron Gordon got the bad news here about his hamstring. Looks like 4 to 6 weeks at best here right now for Gordon. That's before I think that's just to reevaluate here right now. Bad hamstring injury here right now for Gordon. And, he's a player you don't want to lose here right now, especially given the fact that Jokic continues to be out. For the Clippers here, pretty clean bill of health here. Other than they would like to see Kawhi in there, but Clippers in the unders money, says Greg here. Mr. Westwood says he has Murray not playing here. I don't have that one actually. I have Murray in this game, but let's see what's maybe I can get some information here on this and see what's going on with that. Greg says Denver cannot beat them. And Mr. Westers likes what he's seen from Murray this year. Cal Dog is on the Clippers. Timmy Chushu says Harden for 25 points and 7 assists for a little bit of plus money out there. All right. Want to say hello to Daniel Berry in the chat. Great to see Daniel in the chat. And Greg says that was a struggle for Denver yesterday against Brooklyn. They didn't cover in that one after all, right? And let's see here. Mr. Weskers has Murray in there, he says. Murray for 3 threes. LAOB does like the over here. Oh, man, okay. Oh, I was going to go under. I think I'm going under, actually. I'm going to take the under in this one, not to go totally against LALB, but I was already on the under here. And I don't know. I don't know if I mind on the Nuggets here still. Yeah, I'm concerned because of Gordon out now, but he's already been fighting that a little bit. But Clippers, this role that they've been on right now, really terrific. Not only winning, but a lot of covers here of late. They are taking names, it seems like. Remember, they just had a wild cover streak. I know I've alluded to it before, but remember when they started to turn it around all the way back when Chris Paul was retired. But they started to turn around shortly after that, and they went on that run where they won 6 straight games, all by 20 points or more covering the spread. It feels like they're starting to do that again here with this current run. 9 out of 10 straight up and 8-2 against the spread. That's pretty impressive. So the Clippers just keep rolling here. And again, the Clippers are the ones that play these games down here in the 210 range. I know it's a number that looks easily achievable, but I'm going to try the under. All right, here we go here's the Nets now taking on the Jazz. Oh, boy. These two teams are struggling for sure. But like we said, the Nets, at least they did get the money last time out. They've covered 2 straight here and losses to Phoenix and Denver on the road. This is their 4th straight road game. You know who they did lose to before that on the road by more than double digits? The Clippers, team that wins the games by double digits. So for Brooklyn, though, here right now, they have gotten the money. They have taken the points here, but this is pretty low. Now you got Utah. They're also on a losing streak. 4 straight losses, and they were underdogs, and they didn't come close to covering right now. All of these games at home, they've been at home here for the better part of nearly 3 weeks, and they just have losses here to San Antonio, Miami, Clippers, and the Warriors, all as underdogs, and they haven't won. They haven't covered one of those games. They're struggling right now, as well are the Utah Jazz. But they're still they're 3-1 as a favorite against the spread this season. They're our favorite here right now. So they're also 15-11 against the spread at home. just trying to find a way here. Maybe someone's got to win. Someone's going to cover the spread. Brooklyn's lost 7 straight games. They're 2-4 ATS. Their last 6 games against the Jazz overall. Brooklyn has covered 4 of their last 6 overall coming into this one. Meanwhile, Utah just 1-4 ATS in their last 5. They've lost 8 of their last 9 games overall here. 7 of the last 10 meetings between these two teams have gone under, but Brooklyn's gone over in 5 of their last 7, and Utah's gone over in 6 of their last 9. They did play their other meeting already this season, and it was the Jazz getting the win at Brooklyn, 123-110. The Jazz haven't fared too poorly against the Brooklyn Nets. Actually, they've won 3 straight in the series overall. Go to the chat pros here. Markkanen is out, and we know no Markkanen, usually no Jazz, it feels like, with them on some of these bets. But, man, he's out again here right now. Love is questionable. Nurkic is questionable. Georges Niang has been out for nearly a week and a half right now. Cody Williams also questionable. So the Jazz have problems. The Nets, though, Williams questionable, Cam Thomas questionable, Demon questionable, and Clowney questionable. So who's going to play? Who's going to be in there in this matchup? Man, Jazz are 19-7 to the over at home. But Brooklyn's kind of an under team here a little bit. This is the ugly game of the day. I'm trying to make it sound like a playoff game. Here we go. And the Gibson ratings here says 115-111. And looks like George to have 4 threes for Timmy. Cal Dog likes the Jazz here in this one. Yeah, they're missing some guys, but you know what? It's built into the number too, and the Jazz are, mostly a better cover than Brooklyn. I think that's for sure. All right, and let's see here. Greg says Utah beat them about a month ago in Brooklyn. Nets here for LALB. And Gaming Gang says we haven't heard from the Nets and their injuries yet. Okay. Greg says Brooklyn back-to-back spread too low. Brooklyn might win. Mr. Wesker's Jazz need to keep losing in the tankathon. All right, and let's see. I think that might be it from the chat. Get a kick out of the responses is what I'm. All right. Yeah, I'm going to roll with the Utah Jazz. They're missing some folks. The Nets are missing some folks. So, speculating here a little bit on night moves. I'll take the Jazz here and lay a couple of points. All right, the Pistons and the Warriors here right now. Look, the Warriors, I saw some comments in the chat yesterday when I'm trying to talk up the Warriors' chances to land Giannis Antetokounmpo. And yes, the Warriors don't necessarily have maybe the wherewithal of as far as who they would trade, but they do have a little bit of money, and you can work things out with money and other players too. I don't know. Anyway, in this one, Warriors here favored by 1.5, total 224.5 for the Pistons coming into town here right now. Warriors off of a win last time out. They knocked off Utah 140-124 on the road. Warriors were on a 4-game road trip. They return home for this one. They did beat Minnesota on the road. They did lose to Minnesota as well. They played those back-to-back games, remember. For Detroit here, meanwhile, they did lose last night at Phoenix, and they're on the back-to-back here. So, but before that, win over Denver and a win over Sacktown. Remember, Detroit's been, pretty strong here. Detroit is an underdog right now. Let's make sure the spread here is still, yeah, a 1.5 could be 2. Detroit this season 7-1 as an underdog against the spread. Now, this is a closely rated game, so that might be taken into consideration a little bit, but still, they've got the money in all those games as a dog. Golden State, though, 14-10 against the spread at home. This year, Golden State's covered 4 of their last 5 at home and 8 of their last 12 overall. Detroit just 2-8 straight up in their last 10 games against the Warriors. Detroit's gone 3-6 ATS in their last 9 and 9-3 straight up in their last 12. Detroit's gone under here in 11 of their last 13 overall. They're also 8-13 to the under on the road, but Warriors at home 24-12 to the over as a favorite here. And let's see what you've got in this one. Warriors at home against the Pistons. No Butler. I mean, we know Butler's out, but it's almost like they've just cast him aside. Like they don't even miss him here right now. The Warriors are definitely looking for additional help, or they're not going to be doing much in the postseason. It feels like they've got to be active here on the trade deadline. But Cryer is out for the Warriors here. LeVert questionable for the Pistons, but that looks like it as far as the injured list is concerned. The short-term injuries here. Let's hear from the chat in this one. The Warriors at home here against these Pistons, man. As good as the Pistons have been, let's see. Chat pros. All right, the Gibson ratings here says 113-112. Okay, here. Draymond to get over to his tech. Timmy going to go with Detroit here on the road. Greg says it'll be just a close game there. Greg says Curry will win it with a buzzer beater. Timmy Two Shoes on Detroit. Gaming Gang says Golden State good at home as long as they're hitting their threes. LALV on the over. Cal Dog is on the Pistons here in this one. Man, impressive record there for sure at 7-1 ATS. These two teams have not yet met here so far this season, but I'm going to take the Warriors tonight in this one over the Pistons. Give me Golden State. I'll lay 1.5 points. If it was any more, Timmy Two Shoes like Cunningham to have a big night tonight. Cal Dog on the Pistons as well. All right, it's going to do it for the college ranks. Appreciate it in the chat. Going to have a college basketball card here to look at right now. What a match here. We're still here 5.25 hours right now, and we're going to be 5-5 here in the 5th set in a moment. Hope I can keep my eye on it and not ruin the broadcast here. But okay, let's talk some college basketball tonight. We've got some games to look at here with this card. And let's start it off with Kent taking. There is one afternoon game, Georgia Southern. I didn't have it in the preview here, but a write-in game just to fill in the blanks here a little bit. A write-in game tomorrow early with Georgia Southern and UL Monroe. Georgia Southern's an 11.5 point favorite in that one. They're playing this one at Grambling, actually, with Georgia Southern and Monroe. Georgia Southern 11.5 point favorite, 162 early action tomorrow. But here I have Kent State on the road against Akron. Mid-American Conference action here for Friday with Akron. Big favorite here, 11.5. We know these two teams have been, if it wasn't for Miami of Ohio, we would be talking this game here. Both teams come in pretty hot, especially Akron right now. They're on certainly a big winning streak here, and they're coming in off of a win over Toledo, 91-81 last time out. But they did not cover the spread. They were favored by 12.5 in that one. Still really good run here for Akron. They also beat Ohio U and Buffalo recently, covered in those games. Akron is 10-8 against the spread as a favorite. Kent's not a great cover overall, but they are coming in over a win with Ohio 72-57 as a 5.5 point favorite. They beat Eastern Michigan but did not cover. Kent is just 2-5 against the spread on the road, but they're getting a lot of points here, man. They're not awful, that's for sure. So see what you got here. Like I said, in this one, I mean, we know right now in the MAC here currently, Miami of Ohio continues to lead the way. They just find a way to win in all these games right now. But as far as the rest of the teams here in the MAC are concerned, it's really you're looking at Kent, you're looking at Akron here battling it out. Akron's 8-1, Kent is 7-2, and Miami of Ohio is 9-0 in front here right now. But Akron with Tabari Johnson, likely a Player of the Year candidate here, and Kent with Delreco Gillespie here. So that's a lot of points to be laying. Akron's 10-2 to the over at home this season. Man, they do put up some big numbers for sure. These two teams have not yet met here this season. So let's see if you have anything here with this one. Good game in the MAC. See who's going to keep pace with Miami of Ohio is what it feels like. Akron's on a 7-game winning streak right now. They've won 20 straight games at home dating back to last year, but still a big favorite. Kent is just 1-4 against the spread in the last 5 meetings between the two teams, and also Kent just 2-7 against the spread overall in their last 9 games coming in. That's a little bit surprising because they're still 16-5 overall. Usually Kent's laying too many points. Here they're getting all these points. So I don't know. Even though they've been poor against the number, there's a lot of points. Certainly it's got to be a high-scoring game with these two coming in. Kent's gone over in 5 of their last 7. 5 of the last 7 meetings have gone over here. It is 168. I'm going to go over in this one with Kent and Akron. This one should be in the 170s. I'm going over with these two, but man, I don't know Akron. I mean, Akron's been great. Can they get this number? Kent is 0-1 against the spread as an underdog. This is just the second time they've been an underdog all season, but Akron here laying 11.5. Let's go to the chat. Andre says Zips win, but Kent covers. Here's Greg. He says a 13-point win here for Akron. He's got just a little bit under. LALV's on the under. Mr. Wesker's got to take Kent State here in this one. LALV is going to take Kent State in the first half. Greg says they'll run them off the floor, will Akron. Akron in the under for Greg. All right, let's stop off in the Ivy League here right now. And to be fair, I mean, we've covered a lot of different games here with some of the smaller conferences. We really haven't done that much with the Ivies here on Night Moves, mostly because Yale is so dominant really this season in league play. I mean, we've looked at a few games here, but really haven't been able to focus on Yale because they're usually favored by so many. They're clearly the best team right now in the Ivy League. They've actually lost a game in conference play so far, but Yale coming in here currently at 15-3 straight up overall. They are 9-7 against the spread, 8-6 against the spread as a favorite. Yale, their loss was to Princeton on the road, 76-60 is a 5.5-point favorite. Can't win them all. Princeton's still going to be pretty good, even though they got off to such a rugged start, not in the non-conference portion. Princeton is now 3-2. Dartmouth also comes in 3-2 here in this one. They did lose to Columbia last time out. They beat Princeton 71-69 at home as a 1-point dog. But Dartmouth comes in here 5-3. ATS is a dog, 6-3 against the spread on the road here. Dartmouth is 7-9 to the under. They've gone under in 7 of their last 10 games overall coming into this one. For Dartmouth here, let's see what you have in this one if you'd like to comment. But Dartmouth has lost 11 of the last 14 meetings against Yale overall, or failed to cover in 11 of the last 14 meetings against Yale overall. It's been all Yale in this series, actually, over the last several years. Yale comes in 4-1 against the spread in their last 5 overall. Dartmouth's covered 6 of their last 9 coming in. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. And the meeting here last year at Yale was 83-67. It did go under. It was 153 on that day. And I'm going to take the under here in this one with Dartmouth and Yale. I haven't fallen short of this 156 mark. See what you have here. I looked at an Ivy League game with you guys tonight. Yale and under for Andre. The Gibson ratings here, I think, favors Yale. He's got him by 17. And I think he's got him on under there as well. Timmy Two Shoes likes Yale on the spread. Cal Dog says take Dartmouth, though, with the points. Jimmy Two Shoes says Dartmouth ain't going to lay down here. Look, Dartmouth's been a 500 team right now. Just Yale is so much better than everyone in the conference that maybe they could get accused here of laying too many points. They are 3-4 against the spread at home. Here's LALV. He's on the under as well. Let's go out to some Big East action here right now on Friday night with Providence taking on Villanova here in this one in Philly. You got Villanova coming in right now 15-5. Providence on a 3-game losing streak. They're 9-12 here currently with losses here to Marquette, Georgetown, and Connecticut. But they have covered 3 of their last 4 games overall of the Friars. Villanova, meanwhile, comes in off of a loss to Connecticut. They did get the money in that one, and they beat Georgetown before that. Villanova comes in here 8-5 against the spread as a favorite, but Providence is 7-3 against the spread as a dog. For Providence here, they have lost 6 of their last 7 games overall. They're just 2-8 straight up as a dog, 1-5 straight up on the road. Villanova, meanwhile, has covered 13 of their last 20. They've won 12 of 14 games, 12 of the last 14 games at home dating back to last year. Their 2 losses at home actually were this year. They're also 12-1 straight up as a favorite. Providence has lost 10 of their last 11 on the road. They've lost 4 of the last 5 meetings with Villanova, and Providence has also dropped 6 of their last 7 overall. Providence has gone over in 6 of their last 7 games coming in. They're 8-2 to the over as an underdog. Meanwhile, Villanova comes in here 7-4 to the over at home, 8-5 to the over as a favorite. They've gone over in 6 of their last 7 here. I got to take the over in this one with Providence and Villanova. These two teams did play their first meeting already this season. It was at Providence, of course. It was 88-82. They went for 170 in that one, and Villanova won it and covered at Providence. I'm going over here with Providence and Villanova. All right, and we've got, I think LALV here is on the under. LALV Dartmouth. Oh, no, that was the Dartmouth game. Let me see here. Mr. Westers will start us off. He's on Villanova in this one. Gibson ratings here has it for maybe Villanova by a point and over by a point. And Timmy says both teams like the over. This should be a good one, he says. LALV's on the over here. Greg Gibson says Villanova the over. Cal Dog's on the over. LALV likes Providence first half plus the points. All right, I'll take the over in this one. All right, I'm seeing the match point here right now in our tennis match here. But we got a show to do. Let's keep it moving here. It's only because we've got the biggest game of the night here coming up, and want to see if the match ends here currently with Alcaraz. He's got the advantage here at 6-5 right now in the fifth set, and he did win it. What a match. Carlos Alcaraz advances to the finals of the Australian Open in a 5-set thriller that took nearly 5.5 hours tonight, and gets the win here over Sasha Zverev in an instant classic. All right, Michigan and Michigan State. This is the big one of the night in college basketball. I want to say Michigan has not been playing. I don't know how to say it. I mean, they've been pretty awesome. Both teams come in here on fire right now. You got two of the top 7 teams in the nation here. But I almost want to say that Michigan has not been playing that great. Maybe one look against their spread record. We just expect, teams to win and cover, I guess, all the time. But for Michigan here, they've won 5 straight. They've gone 0-7 against the spread in their last 7 games, all right? So they're just favored by too many. But here they're only favored by 1 at Michigan State. You're in East Lansing. This is a game, yes, they're a bigger fish to fry overall for both teams, I guess, this season, but this is still a huge game between the two, no matter what you're talking about for, national championship, Big Ten, whatever you want to say. Now, Michigan State, they're winning, but they're covering the spread when they win. Now, they did not cover last time against Rutgers on the road. In fact, we had Rutgers in that game plus the points, but they've been beating everybody and covering the spread against Indiana, Washington, Oregon, and Maryland. They cover the spread in all those games. In fact, Michigan comes in here 2-1 against the spread as an underdog. I think they're still a dog here right now. Yeah, but also Booker. We've got a book here in Vegas also with Michigan State -1. So I guess you just got to look at them straight up for the most part coming into this one, and also maybe a little bit of series history too between the two. For Michigan here, 1-5 against the spread in their last 6 games against the Spartans. Now, maybe this Michigan team, yes, it might be a historic, a recent high, let's just say, but also Michigan State. This has been a great season for them right now as well. So don't fault them. It's just that Michigan does not have a great spread record. They're 2-5 against the spread on the road this season. Michigan State, meanwhile, they've been able to cover a few here. They've covered 4 out of their last 5. They're on a 7-game winning streak right now. Michigan State's gone under in 7 of their last 8 games right now, and Michigan's gone under in 5 straight. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone under. They went under here last year in East Lansing, 79-62 in that one. I'm going to go with the under, actually, in this game at 146. I know the Sharps are probably going to be on the over here, but I'm going to kind of rule with the eye test here, it feels like right now. Could make a case for Sparty here in this one, and maybe I will we'll see in premium land, but I'm going to take the under, and let's see what you have in the big game tomorrow between Michigan and Michigan State. Greg says Michigan's been looking shaky. I mean, about as shaky as you can, right, for a team that's 19-1. LALB's on the under here. Also, Greg says 73-71 for Michigan State. Cal Dogs on Michigan State. LALB says, look, Michigan State's beating them actually in 4 straight games overall. So, all right. Greg says the wrong team's favored, but I don't know, a 1 point spread. I think it's pretty much just a toss up. Gaming Gang says Michigan State and under. LALB's on Sparty here. Greg said Michigan State will win this game for sure. All right, I'll take the under here in this one. Might be a cop-out. I'll just admit it. Might be a cop-out for me. All right, I got one other game to look at here in college ball. And let's go out to the Mountain West with Boise State taking on Grand Canyon here on Friday night. So go out and see what's going on in the Mountain West with these two. And Grand Canyon, a 1.5 point favorite at home. We know how tough they can be at home. The Havocs wreaking havoc here. Grand Canyon comes in 6-3 in conference play. Boise State is 5-5 in conference play overall. But Boise's hot right now. 4 straight wins here all of a sudden and covers against Colorado State, Wyoming, Air Force, and San Jose State. And they've covered some big numbers in those games. They weren't the toughest games, that's for sure. But for Boise here, they come in with a 12-7 record ATS right now. Grand Canyon, not great to the number in some of these games, particularly at home as a favorite, but they win. So, yeah, usually they're favored by a few more if you're going up against any lesser teams, but they're still 9-2 straight up at home. And Boise State 2-4 straight up as an underdog here. These two teams have already met in their first game this season 3 weeks ago or so, and Grand Canyon won it at Boise 75-58 as an 8.5 point dog. So does Boise, can they return the favor here in this one? It's always tough, man. This Grand Canyon team, when they're playing at home in Phoenix, always tough crowd, man. Tough crowd. Let's go to the chat here and see what you have in this one. Final game of our previews here. Grand Canyon's won 18 of their last 20 games at home overall. They've won 8 of their last 11 overall and gone 5-2 against the spread. For Boise here, they're 4-1 straight up and against the spread in their last 5. Boise's gone over in 6 straight, including 5 straight on the road, but Grand Canyon's gone under in 7 of their last 9 games overall. Boise's 6-1 to the over on the road, but 2-4 to the under as a dog. Grand Canyon's 4-7 to the under as a favorite. Let's go to the chat here in this one. Hey, Good D's. Good to see you in there, Good D's. And have a great night. Cal Dog's on Grand Canyon here. Mr. Westwood says they almost feel too sharp there. And Greg says, I'm taking, right, I just go take the total. Take the total. All right. Mr. Westwood says the Grand Canyon, the reps at Grand Canyon are wearing Grand Canyon uniforms. Greg Gibson here, he says 70-68. Timmy Chushu says give me Grand Canyon at home. LALB wants to know about that game between UNLV and Nevada and the other Mountain West. You probably could mention it at least here. We don't have it in the preview, but always good to have the battle there between UNLV and Nevada. UNLV's 5-4 in conference play. Nevada's 7-3. Under here for LALB in this one. And Timmy might be on Grand Canyon. Gaming Guru likes the under here. I'm taking Grand Canyon. Of course I am here at home against Boise. They already hammered them there. Yeah, it could be revenge for Boise, but Grand Canyon won big on the road. So I figure Jaden Henley and the gang here going to take Grand Canyon. And that's it for college basketball. Man, we've got one more game, and then that's kind of it here on Night Moves tonight, which is one hockey game. All right, here we go with our one hockey game tonight. And where have I misplaced the graphic? Here we go. The Columbus Blue Jackets are on the road taking on the Chicago Blackhawks. NHL action here for Friday. Look, wow, not the best game going here, but hey, Chicago, they've been all right here. They were all right. They've been close. They continue to play decent, but they just can't get over the hump on some of these games. Now, they did just get blasted last night by Pittsburgh. They're 6-2, and they lost to Minnesota a couple of nights ago, 4-3 in a shootout. So Chicago's back to a little bit of a losing skid here right now. 4 straight games they've lost coming in. For Columbus here, they've won 3 straight over Dallas, Tampa Bay, and Philly. Wow. A pretty impressive streak here for Columbus coming in. Columbus, they are 12-4 as a favorite. Really good record for Columbus as a favorite. Chicago comes in here 21-30 as an underdog. Columbus is 11-5 to the over as a favorite. Chicago's been going under quite a bit here of late. Man, tough to want to lay the Jackets on the road at all, but Columbus has won 5 straight meetings against Chicago, and they've won 7 of their last 8 overall. Chicago's lost 6 of their last 7 at home and 4 of their last 5 overall. I'm just going to take Columbus here, $1.35. It's a little sus, right, laying a price on the road with Columbus, but again, they get the job done as a favorite here. These two teams have not yet met this season, but Columbus, like I said, they've won 5 straight in the series. 5 of the last 6 meetings between these two teams have gone over when playing in Chicago, and 5 of the last 7 overall have gone over. Chicago's gone over in 4 of their last 5 coming in. Cal Dog likes the Blue Jackets here. Greg says 3-2 Blue Jackets. And Jimmy Choo says maybe an under with these two goalies. Blackhawks have been playing like the Chicken Hawks. Yeah, it's tough. They are struggling here right now, even to win. They did play well, I thought, in the game against Minnesota. I thought they looked good in a loss to Tampa there a week or so ago. But all right, I'm taking the Blue Jackets here in this one, and I think the show is over. Hey, everyone, don't forget, head on over to Tony'sPicks.com and check out our premium picks every day over at Tony's Picks. Let's take a look at the handicapper leaderboards and see who's hot over there from the action on Thursday. I had just 2 premiums, actually, for Thursday, went 2-0. Let's take a look at who did well. We've got doubles, 3-0 day for doubles. We got Solo, he went 9-5. Shane Mickle up there, 4-1. There I am, 2-0. Steve Duncan finished in the green again with the NHL card. Justin McKelvey won his only play. Jorge Gonzalez won his only play. Vegas Al, another great show here earlier tonight. I was prepping for my show. I like to listen to Vegas Al do his show when I'm working on my show. Joey Tron won his only play. Ron Hahn won a couple of games there on Thursday. Over the last 7 days here, Stephen Duncan's up nearly 11 units. Bo Dunn still getting it done there, up 7 1/4 units. Vegas Al is up there 4 1/3 units over the last 7 days. And there's DeAndre up there as well. Last 30 days, Stephen Duncan continues to crush here, up 26.5 units. Nick Lagaretos is up 8 units over the last 30 days. Bo Dunn, great return to the site for Bo so far, up a 7.25 units. So check us out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Click on the All Cappers tab. Find the handicapper of your choice. Scroll down on their handicapper profile page, and that's how you're going to get signed up. Join me over at Tony'sPicks.com here. Why not get the 3-day all sports pass and ride with me here this weekend for $99? I'll be firing away on Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. You'll get more than your money's worth when you subscribe to my picks here this weekend. Went 2-0 today in college basketball. We're going to hit it good here over the weekend. In the NBA and NHL and college ball. So check me out over at Tony'sPicks.com. Use the promo code TonyT at checkout. Save 15% off all premium pick packages, including mine, here on Friday night. All right, I want to thank everyone in the chat for tuning in and spending time with me here on Night Moves. I've got another tennis match to watch here. Hopefully you guys are going to stay up late and watch the next one here. I don't think the next one's going to be 5.25 hours. I know I saw someone in the chat. I think they said they wanted Novak here in this one. I can't do it, man. I actually think it's going to be exactly the opposite. I think that Yannick Sinner, he is elite here. We've been on a collision course with Alcaraz. Sasha Zverev just played a terrific match right there. He's a great player. Novak Djokovic is one of the greatest players of all time. We know that. He's also benefited from his last 3 opponents, all basically having to resign in the middle of the match due to injuries. So you could say he is rested and he needs as much stamina as he can get for sure against Yannick Sinner. But look, this is just where Djokovic is currently in his career, just short right now of these elite players. And I expect actually to be a straight set victory here for Yannick Sinner here tonight. And it may be tough for Djokovic to win more than 4 games, I think, in any of the 3 sets. I think, it did say, I think the person that did mention it in the chat did kind of say that I think he took it plus, was it 7.5 games, I think, there. So that would get it home for Djokovic here, but we could see one of those sets easily 6-1 or 6-2, I think, tonight. And no problem. We love Novak, but right now, Yannick Sinner on top of his game. And look, he'll be the beneficiary possibly if he can win in straight sets here, especially after Alcaraz. 15-1 for Alcaraz in his 5-set matches. That's amazing when you think about it. All right, it's going to do it. Thank you again to everyone in the chat tonight. We'll be back tomorrow with more night moves for the weekend. LALB likes Novak tonight, though, to hang in there. And appreciate you guys in the chat. I'm going against LALB, I guess, but that's okay. And I think that's it. Thanks, everybody. Appreciate it. Catch you back here tomorrow with more night moves. For the Tony's Picks YouTube channel, I'm Ramon Scott. So long from Night Moves.